Welcome to the Crush It in Sales podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. This podcast focuses on the intersection of sales, leadership, and personal development. Now let's get ready to dig in and crush it. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in this week to the Crush It in Sales podcast. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there and your time is limited, so I really appreciate that you tune in and listen to this podcast. Thank you in advance. I was originally going to do a podcast this week about content creating from a non-expert point of view, because I don't consider myself an expert on creating content, but I've definitely learned a lot over the past few years. And I just turned in my third draft for the chapter that Ryan and I are co-authoring in the Brilliant Breakthroughs for Small Business book series. And that is a book series with other authors. And I was going to talk about that, but maybe I'll save that for next week. Instead, I want to talk about something that I just think is really important to think of from a different perspective, and that is boundaries and setting boundaries so you can be your best self and show up as you want to show up. And I've never really heard anyone talk about it in this way. Often people talk about setting boundaries in regards to protecting your energy or time management. And those are important too. Believe me, I totally agree with those. And this might segue a little bit into that, just kind of have a little bit of a gray area. But I learned several years ago that I need to set boundaries in order to show up as the person I want to show up as. What does that look like? I'm going to give a really great example. I have an amazing client in Miami. I've known her for 8 years. I adore her. She is just the sweetest person. She would give the sweater off her back if someone asked her. She's an amazing store. It's a huge gift store, home decor, florist. I know her daughter. I just love her. I have the chills just talking about her. And she is super busy during the day. Her store is crazy busy, and she works with a lot of special orders for the florals. And obviously, if someone buys furniture, that's kind of a big deal, and you have to get it out of the store and rearrange the store. There's just a lot going on, and it's hard to find really good help in Miami. So she ends up taking everything on. So she likes to call me at 7 o'clock at night. And I like to do everything possible for my customers. I do. I get back to people within 24 hours. Even when I'm on the road, I bend over backwards to help people. And I was taking her phone calls at 7 o'clock at night. And you know what? I was not being my best self. Quite frankly, I'm going to use the B word. I was kind of bitchy. And I would hang up and be really upset with myself and be like, gosh, I just didn't show up really well. I wasn't as nice as I should be. She doesn't deserve that. She's super nice person, and I need to help her, and what the heck, right? So I started to do a deep dive, and I realized, you know what? I've known this my whole life, is that I'm not a night person. I'm a morning person. I was just wired this way. I remember my mom telling me that as a baby and as a small child, she would try to keep me up to keep her company because my dad worked shift work and my mom wanted some company. I'm the oldest child. And so she would try to keep me up, and I would just cry and cry and cry. And she was like, realized that I just wanted to go to bed. And so she'd put me to bed and I'd shut up, right? So I have been a morning person forever, since day one. I'm not a night person. So I eventually had to set boundaries with my customer and just say, you are more than welcome to leave me a voice message. That's fine. I'm not going to pick up because you know what? I'm not showing up as my best self, and you don't deserve that. You don't deserve me being grouchy and tired at the end of the day and not, treating you as you deserve to be treated. So I learned that I have to set those boundaries. And as a sales rep, most people do not realize what it is like to be a road rep, especially when you live in certain parts of the country that you have other challenges to deal with. So being a sales rep in South Florida, I have 95-degree heat. It's super hot out. I have traffic that is insane, and I have a demographic that likes to drive like they're not going to die. And so if you are familiar with South Florida, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a little crazy. And so I have to be completely present. It's a crazy day on the road. And if anyone is a sales rep out there, hopefully you're shaking your head like, oh, I totally get it, right? You're trying to get from appointment to appointment. You're maybe unloading your car with samples and catalogs and have lots of questions that you have to deal with, lots of things you have to take notes of to circle back on. And then in the meanwhile, while you're on the road all day, you've ignored all the emails and phone calls and texts and faxes that you get throughout the day because you're not home to tend to those things. You're on the road and you're driving between appointment and appointment, trying to stay on schedule. I often text everyone before I get to my next appointment so they know, hey, I'm on my way, heads up, in case they had to run to the bank or run out for lunch or deal with a child. There's so many things that stores have to deal with on a regular basis too. So I try really hard to stay on that schedule and keep my customers in the loop as I'm en route to them. And then I get home and it could be 7 o'clock at night. I have to unload my car. I have to then start to weed through all the things I missed through the day, see what's important, what I need to get back right away. Often the companies have things they want you to manage or deal with. Vendors, of course, it could be anything from invoices to credit cards to where's this shipment? Why am I short shipped? Oh my gosh, the list is like endless. I could go on and on. So I have to do all of that. So you know what? Calling someone at night after being on the road, I'm not going to turn up as my best self. I'm probably going to use the word again, bitchy. And I don't want to be bitchy. So I set those boundaries to manage just how I show up. And obviously I'm managing my time and I'm managing my own personal energy, but I'm managing how I show up. And a lot of people probably don't realize that that's just a really important part of also setting your boundaries. We all can do this. It is a great tool. It's an amazing tool, and it gives you so much freedom and peace of mind if you can do it. And one of the aspects of this is a lot of people do not realize what your life is like. Their life may be completely different. They might live somewhere where it's more calm and peaceful. They don't have to deal with a traffic situation like I do down here. Oh gosh, even getting back into the Keys after a day on the road can be completely from hell because there's so many boats coming down here and people, again, the demographics of how they drive, people passing each other on the shoulders. You can go on Facebook, you'll see lots of videos of people posting about this. It's absolutely insane. Sometimes it's fine, but 50% of the time it's insane and you really can't tell what's going to happen. You don't know. Like it could be fine and then all of a sudden it could be crazy. And that's like 30 minutes of the drive is completely dealing with the stretch of getting back into the Keys. So that's just another aspect too. So sometimes if someone's not getting it and you're trying to set boundaries, you might have to go an extra step and just share with them. This is what my life is like. And please just know that I'm just trying to get through my day and do the best I can possibly do and show up as my best self, because they might not realize that. They might have a very calm life where they really can manage a little better. Who knows? And they might have things going on too. I'm not saying they don't, but everyone has different lives. That's really what I'm trying to get to. A lot of people are dealing with child situations, especially with schools and COVID-19. I don't have children, but I have a husband who has a very, very successful and booming business with a growing audience, and I am his right-hand person. So that's another thing people don't realize. A lot of couples are really not partners, and they might have their business and he might have his job or whatever. And I am very, very involved in Good Karma Sport Fishing, from content creation, from checking things, all the back office, all the accounting. I do all of that. Ryan really focuses on being the creative, on being the face of the brand, and obviously fishing, which is a huge, huge piece of it, and time chunk. So a lot of people don't realize that I also have to deal with that. So again, setting boundaries and then filling someone in on this is really what my life is like, and please understand that I'm just doing the best I can often help make someone just understand and hopefully then go, oh, I get it. One of my favorite sayings that I say a lot on the Good Karma Success Coach, which is my other podcast, so please check that out, is see yourself as others. And I first heard that from Gabby Bernstein years ago, and it stuck with me and it changed my life. When you can sit and see yourself as the other person, it just creates so much clarity and takes so much stress and pressure off as far as expectations. So I highly recommend that saying for anyone out there that struggles with expectations and setting boundaries. See yourself as others. Take a moment to think about what their life might be like and just take a deep breath about it. I know personally that I haven't always been the best at managing expectations, and it's something I always work on. It's something I've written about. It's something I've spoken about as well. And I just want people to know that I truly believe the majority of people try their hardest to get back to people on a timely basis, manage to timelines. And I had a call last week. I was intuitively guided to pick up the phone and call one of my favorite sales managers because I just had this feeling that she was really struggling with expectations. And I was right. She was. Immediately, words just started pouring out of her mouth, and it was like complete guidance that I called her at that time and was able to chat with her and hopefully help her in just relieving some stress and some of her own expectations, because that's part of it too. We all put these huge expectations on ourselves to over-deliver, overperform, not let anyone down. A lot of people are people pleasers. And this was what was going on with this person is she's such a people pleaser that she had worked herself into this tizzy to get back to every single person like right away. And she was working till midnight. And you know what? It's not her company. It's someone else's company. So she's working till midnight for someone else's business. I don't think that other person, the owner, is working till midnight. And she was driving herself crazy. So we ended up just having a little chat about letting some stuff go and drawing some boundaries. And, maybe you're done at 6:00 and you then get to spend time with your son, which was what she really wanted to do, was be able to be devoted to spending some time with her son and not be on the computer getting back to everyone's emails. And depending on obviously what your line of business is, and like I said before, we all can appreciate deadlines and we should respect deadlines. But in this particular example, no one was going to die if she didn't get back to them right away. No one was going to die if she didn't get back to them right away. And that's what we had to talk about. And I hope I helped her in terms of the fact that I just think she's amazing and she shouldn't be driving herself crazy on worrying about getting back to everyone so quickly, and just draw some boundaries about that. Because here again, she didn't feel that she was showing up as her best self. She was making mistakes. She was going too quickly. And that was just all about, hey, taking a moment, taking a breath, realizing it will get done and everything's going to be okay. So I hope these examples resonate with someone out there. I hope it helps someone. I just strongly believe in everyone in the audience, and I know that everyone works so hard and takes everything so seriously and wants to put 110% into whatever they're working on. But sometimes you also have to make sure that you're showing up as your best self, and it's okay to set those boundaries. So I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your ideas. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Also, my other podcast is called The Good Karma Success Coach, and you can sign up for my monthly newsletter on that website, goodkarmasuccesscoach.com. And that's about it for this week. So I hope you love it. Please share it with a friend or family member or coworker that needs to hear these words of inspiration. And until next time, I hope you crush in sales. Thank you.